The 2.3 million people who are currently incarcerated, those who are on probation and parole, meaning that we probably have 5, 6, 7, 8 million people in some category, some state of difficulty, many of whom, quite frankly, will never ever work again in a productive way because nobody will hire them.
There's no one who will hire me when they ask you to be honest on an application. You say, yes, I was convicted of a crime, and then you receive no callbacks. Housing developments, when they do an application, once you say yes, when you're trying to be honest, you receive no callbacks. So a lot of individuals end up back to where they used to be, because this is the only way that they know to live with someone, hang out all day, and revert back to their criminal activities.
I think the thing that sticks out is early in Ms. Love's article, she talks about the fact that 20 million Americans have felony convictions. And if you consider that twice as many perhaps have misdemeanor convictions, that adds up to 60 million Americans, 1 out of 5, who have convictions. And in my experience, I find that somebody who has a record really has a very, very difficult time getting on with their lives. Get jobs, maintain jobs.
Being the administrator now for the Permanent Supportive Housing Department of St. Leonard's House, we see that the individuals that come every day, they leave very high spirit to go out there job hunting and come back, wore out, and just letting us know that all I did was just filled out 10 applications and then I got to sit back and wait. And we see the process every day that when we do follow-ups with those individuals, that they'll come back and they'll let us know, those jobs, those applications that I filled out, I was turned down because of my background.
How we view justice and how we view compensation for non-compliance with our rules and regulations and laws sometimes means that a person is sentenced for a lifetime in terms of the impact of having been convicted of a crime.
We've been handling sex offenders at St. Leonard's probably since the early 90s, 94 and 95. And we did a study that covered the years from 2000 to 2006 or 7. And during that 2000 to 2006 or 7, about 60 sex offenders, 65 came through St. Leonard's, and only 3 were back in prison and 2 were parole violations, so only 1 was a reoffender. So I think the message is programs like ours work. 2 years ago, we decided we no longer would handle sex offenders at St. Leonards Ministries, not so much because of the rules and regulations, but because of the manner with which the Department of Corrections was treating us. They were trying to make us into another prison.
I have a problem with that. I have a problem with the Illinois Review Board. One person who went there 16 times and done everything that I possibly can inside the institution so that I can just get at the end of the year when I go in front of them to say, due to the nature of my offense. Well, we know the nature of the offense is never going to change. I may change. So that's what they hold on a person.
In terms of the governor's philosophy, I think that his action speaks louder than anything else. I think there's been this feeling around the country that pardons and expungements are impossible to come by. They're for special people in special circumstances, and Governor Quinn has made this a real remedy. It is part of his day-to-day duties. This isn't something that I think can be said that is used in exceptional circumstances only in Illinois. We've seen the governor be very courageous with clemency, something that personally I'm proud of in my governor. So I think that when we talk about philosophies, nothing hits harder than what he's done.
And as a society, what path should we be going down? And as we think about making recommendations to folks like yourself coming out of this task force, should we think and focus on forgetting and pardons and those kinds of things, or should we be thinking about creating a society where there is actual forgiveness and understanding the whole person, and then nonetheless giving them the opportunities to restore themselves to society?
I guess I would say you can mandate forgetting, you can't mandate forgiving. So that's sort of where some of the tension is. You know, obviously you would like a society that recognizes rehabilitation and improvement, but you can't make them. So I think the governor's power to forget makes it so it is a mandate. So I think that's the benefit of that. I don't think that takes away the goal of forgiving, or frankly, that the act of the governor is, as Adam said, an act of mercy that is forgiving. So I think that while the governor may be forgiving, it's to provide the power to forget. And you can be aspirational in society in terms of rehabilitation and diversion, but in the short term, the best way to get there is to clear the record.
We practice many forms of religion in our country, but to a large extent, we are a Christian nation. But at the base of Christianity is this concept of redemption. I mean, at the base of it is the idea that there can be redemption.
If you were formerly incarcerated and I was interviewing you, and if I ask you if you ever had a felony conviction, most of my clients freeze up. So what we tell them to say, because many of our clients either have never been in a prison, they were in Cook County Jail. Most of our clients have a nonviolent background, some have violent. So the way we teach them the answer is, yes, I have a felony background, but like you know, it's nonviolent in nature. If you only have one, you want to throw that in there too, right? You want to throw as much good information as you can. Yes, I have one felony, nonviolent in nature, and it was 7 years ago. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm here today to tell you I want to be the best employee this company's ever had. Why? I come to work on time. I work hard. I do quality work. I get along well with my coworkers. I'm going to treat your customers, they're like my own family. Need someone to work overtime? I'm your guy. I'm not going to whine and complain. Joe didn't come into work today. You want me to help out? I'm not going to say it's not my job description. Sir, you won't regret hiring me. I will be the best employee you ever had. And I tell you what, I'm so confident of the value I can add to your company, I'm going to work tomorrow for free for you just to prove it. I'm telling you, folks going like that, a tremendous number of them get jobs.
I never want to be in a position where I get to the basement and think that I'm in the penthouse. And so although we've made some progress, we have a long, long, long way to go. I appreciate your thanking me, but I really thank you and your panel more. I thank you because traditionally people look at law enforcement a certain way. Lots of people do. And the fact that you, with all of the expertise that you have, all of the experiences that you've had, that you're willing to take this on as a task to the extent of establishing a task force. I mean, it just kind of makes my day. And I'm delighted to be here. Thank you very much.